Hey, it's Tom Manziano, and this is why I advocate the Zeitgeist Movement. For a long time, my life was pretty uncomfortable for about 40 years. There were a lot of big questions that weren't being answered, and the answers I got were just, they didn't make sense. And they weren't being answered adequately by the people I looked up to, teachers, peers in my life, the authorities in my life. So questions like why am I here, what is the meaning of life, what is death, just to name a few of them. But over the last 10 years, those questions have all been answered by something that's called non-duality, or something I call non-duality. And it's just a philosophy that points to the reality of life, of what's actually going on here. It's really quite easy to see this reality, or to see reality if you're curious enough to look for it. Um, and ruthlessly honest with yourself with what's actually being experienced. I'd like to summarize what I experience when I take an honest look. First, I find there are feelings throughout the body, such as pain, sensations, emotions, breathing, etc. Then, of course, there are scents, sights, sounds, tastes, and, of course, thoughts. That's all I find when I just observe reality, what's actually happening. Now, since there is experiencing of those things, I cannot be them. The game changer is when you actually searched for the I that's doing the experiencing, you discover you cannot find it. So there is no I. There is only life, lifing, for lack of a better term. The reality is the individual or you just don't exist. There is no one called Tom Manziano. It's just a fancy label that's slapped onto this specific body-brain organism. And if there is no me, obviously there is no you either. Because if everyone is honest with themselves, their experience is exactly the same as mine. The conclusion, again, is all there is life expressing itself, and everything is just happening. We could give that a fancy name like spirit or God or consciousness, intelligence or source, but it is just life, lifing, and completely impersonal. Of course, after seeing that truth, I can no longer continue to live the way I have. I not only have the need to share this insight, but I have the need to spread the truth about what's possible for the future. The answer to the question of the meaning of life for me is apparent now, and it's always matched the primal code of nature. And that is, to thrive, you must cooperate and collaborate as a species. After all, a system that competes against itself is cancerous, no? I now know all humans are my family, and the earth is the only home that we have. The Zeitgeist Movement is the only train of thought that honors and lives that truth, and that is why I advocate its higher human values for governing the planet and its people until a better method becomes available. I urge everyone out there to educate themselves, think critically, think creatively, and imagine what's possible, because it is possible.